Thank you for tuning in to the Doing Business with God podcast.
Hey, you. Yes, you. I am your host, Michi Renee.
It is Michi's passion to help you live your best life and do business God's way. Michi will be talking about entrepreneurship, manifestation, monetization, mindset, beliefs, starting and growing a business, nonprofit, or ministry, all while serving God. So welcome to My Daddy's Business. It's time for the show. It's the Doing Business with God podcast with your host, Michi Renee.
Hello, tribe. Welcome back to another episode of the Doing Business with God podcast, dedicated to helping you do business God's way. In this episode, I will be talking with Erica Solon with the Travel Genie about her entrepreneurial journey. Erica is a wife, a mom of 3. She is a certified travel agency, and she has her own agency, Travel Genie, that she started in 2017. Travel Genie exists to make your travel dreams come true. She specializes in group trips, family trips, mission trips, weddings, bachelorette trips, guys and girls trips. They don't just book hotels, they create experiences. Erica, welcome to the Doing Business with God podcast. How are you today?
I'm great, Michi. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm happy to be here. I just love what you're doing with Doing Business with God, and I want to just talk about my journey and, treat this as a conversation. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So how long have you been in business?
I've been in business since 2017. I got my certification as an agent in 2017, and then right after that, I actually started my own business probably 3 weeks after getting my travel agent certificate. But I've actually been into travel since I was young. My mom made that very important step to taking us and exposing us to different things early on in life. So I've always traveled. So I've always looked through that lens of traveling and wanting to go other places and see other people, do other things, and experience other cultures. So I kind of went through the route of helping people with their vacations probably for about 5 to 10 years. So when someone would go on vacation, they would always ask me, what would your ideas be? And, I'd kind of sit them and help them and walk them through the process that way. And I did that for a while prior to getting certified and saying, hey, I'm going to turn this passion of mine into something that can really help other people as well. I know not everyone has this same passion, and sometimes vacations and going on trips can be a chore for people who do those things. So
yeah, I can totally relate. I, like you, grew up with the travel aspect. I have this wall in my home that says my soul is a world traveler, and it has different pictures of different places and experiences that I've had both individually and collectively with others as well as family. I know one of the things that your business stands on is the fact that you create experiences. What does that mean, and how is that relating to your entrepreneurial journey that you started and you're kind of on?
I think, in this age of the internet and people having all of these options to be able to book or, create their own travel, travel agents have really struggled and had a hard time with all the extra competition because the information is just at people's fingertips. A lot of the information is. So, it's a way to differentiate myself. I don't want you to call me and say, book my hotel. That's not really what I'm looking to do. Can I do that? Yes, absolutely I can. But when people do call me that way, I like to suggest, hey, well, I kind of go into consultation mode. How do you like to travel? What are the things you like to do? And I would like to put together a customized itinerary for you. Yes, a hotel is one aspect of, your vacation or your trip, but there's so many other facets that go along with that people just don't think about or just feel is not important that I have to constantly bring up when I'm talking to people. Some people like to do a lot when they go on trips, and sometimes I just have to stop them and saying, hey, are you accounting for time? You've named off to me 5 things that you're trying to do in one day. Do you know how long it's going to take you to get to these individual events that you're trying to do on that day? That may not be possible for you to try to do all of these things in one day. You want to enjoy yourself. You want to create an experience so that you're not rushing the process as well. So it's a fine balance of being able to, accommodate someone's schedule. If you're in a place that has a lot of things that you want to do, but you only want to stay a short amount of time, that might not be something that could be possible in one visit. You might have to do two visits to that particular place to get to all the things you want to get to. And I try to be mindful and help people think through those things. So that's a part of what I do as well, just trying to steer them into being able to create an experience. And I think that's important when you go on vacation. So that's kind of my journey in how we create experiences, is to be a consultative partner with the person that's going to be traveling and understanding their travel style. I think that's a misconception as well. There are different types of travelers. There's people who want to go to, like, they just lean towards beaches. Like, all their vacations are beach related things, and that's what they want to do on their vacations. There's people that lean toward metropolitan areas, cities. I want to, be in a downtown of a nice city, a large city, and that's what I want to do. Or there's people who like to hike on their vacation, do yoga. So there are so many types of vacations, and understanding what that person's expectation and what they're looking to do really helps guide me to put together an experience for that specific person. Not every experience is going to be for any individual. So that has to be customized. And I think people try to put their travel in a box. That's what, these places that you could just go online, and yes, you can find a hotel, but that's really not what traveling is about to me.
What do you think the common misconception is about working with travel agent versus just going on Travelocity or wherever and booking a vacation?
Well, I think the misconception is that it costs a lot for them to use my service. And that's the biggest misconception. I get paid by the hotels and the tour operators in those companies. There are a couple of services that I charge that's separate from that, but primarily I'm getting paid on the other end. So most of the time, people do not give me one extra dime out of their trip cost that they would see any additional costs. So that is the biggest misconception of travel agents. And I'm here for this particular person. This is a service. I'm here for my clients. So
Absolutely. So, being that this podcast talks about entrepreneurship and business and all of those things, what has been the most difficult part of growing your business or getting your business to the next level?
well, I could say that I'm still growing my business. Let's just be honest. Due to right now, we're in a pandemic. Business was actually going very well prior to pandemic happening, and I had quite a few things on the books for 2020 to be actually my best year. But due to, things that have happened, people still aren't comfortable with traveling. That's the bottom line. That's where we are right now. I know some people have said to me that they're not going to do any traveling until there's a vaccination. So that seems to be on the horizon. So maybe that'll help people feel more comfortable. I think on the other side, there's countries that are watching this vaccination, because for the US, we have a lot of travel restrictions going into other countries at this particular time frame. So that's going to unfold a lot. And really, I'm going to be rebuilding since all of these things have occurred, and trying to dispel people's fear maybe of traveling, and then whatever other questions and concerns that they are going to have. So I'm still definitely building my business. And the difficult part is, again, people having all the information at their fingertips and not really understanding how to put that together and make it.